Today on the channel, I'm going to do a quick lesson on how to play the intro to Summer Nights by Van Halen. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to learn how to play the intro to Summer Nights by Van Halen. A long time ago I did a video on this song, and I wanted to basically do a revamp, a little bit of a redo on this and do some updated stuff on it. I'll put the link down below of my original lesson, and also before we begin I wanted to show you this. This is the new Van Halen EVH Relic series Frankenstein guitar. So they're now making these in white, they're making them in red, and they're making them in black. I'll put a link in the description below where I unbox this guitar, and also the video where I modify this guitar, where I put the pick guard on it and I enable the neck pickup with a toggle switch, which is a pretty cool video. Hope you enjoy that. But if you're wondering what this is an EVH Relic series guitar, Frankenstein, and I've done some modifications to it. I absolutely love it. I highly recommend this guitar. Very, very awesome guitar. Sounds just like the Frankie, plays great, but you can do like really cool customizations to it, and it's a great platform for that sort of thing. All right, so let's get started, okay? So Summer Nights by Van Halen. This song was recorded with a Steinberger guitar, and if you've ever watched Live Without a Net by Van Halen or seen any of those 5150 bootlegs, Eddie played the little trapezoid-looking Steinberger guitar, and it had a trans-trem system on it. What that system did is it allowed you to dive bar down or dive bomb up and keep the guitar in pitch. So essentially, if you were playing a G chord like that and you pulled the bar up a full step, you'd be playing a G chord, but it would sound like an A. Okay, so you would be playing that, but it would actually be up in this position. So in Summer Nights, Eddie does basically a pattern that's a G, a D, a G, and an A. He's playing it here at the nut, but it sounds like he's going. So what I did there is I barred a G chord, I barred a D chord shape, and then I barred an A chord shape, which really that's a B flat, that's an F, that's a B flat to a C. Okay, but he plays it like this down here, G, D, and A shapes. But you can't really do that like this unless you have a capo right here on the 3rd fret. So we capo it with our finger and we do the shapes like this. So let me explain this for you a little bit more thoroughly. Okay, this is really difficult to do, but don't worry, it gets easier when the trans-trem system disengages. Eddie snaps it back into standard tuning, and he does the same riff, but down here, you know, it's still in the same position as he was before, but it sounds a step and a half below what it starts off in the intro. So essentially, what we're doing, let me show you basically. From the very beginning of the song, we're going to be taking a G shape, and then we're going to go to a D, G to an A, and it sounds like so what we're doing there is a G, and then a D sus2, a G, then an A sus4 to a release, to A major, and then an A sus2. Eddie loved sus chords. He loved sus2 chords and he loved sus4 chords. A sus2 chord basically is a major chord, and it's got the second note of the chord in the chord itself. So a D sus2 has this high E in it. So a D is 1, an E is 2, so there's your 2. A D sus4 has a G in it. So it's D, E, F, G. So that's your 4. That's a D sus4, which resolves down to the regular third, right? So he loves sus4s and 2s. You can always hear them because sus2s are played like so if you take like a C chord, for instance, you can play a sus chord without adding this major third in there. That's a sus2. C sus2, and then a C sus4 is like that. It's like your classic unchained chord. Okay, so there's your sus4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this pattern, this G, to a D sus2, back to a G, then an A sus4, release, to an A sus2. Now what makes this really tricky, if you want to sound like the record, we're going to have to bring it up here and play it like... So what I'm doing there is I'm taking this G shape. Now you can put a capo here if you want. And if you've got a trans-trem guitar, which is highly unlikely, you can pull the bar up a step and a half and it'll sound like you're playing it in key when you're down here doing this. But take a bar chord like this, and then you're going to take your fingers, your ring finger and your pinky, and put it on here on the 6th fret, like this. So it's basically like taking a G chord like this. We're going to slide it up here and bar. And we're only going to play the top 5 strings, or the bottom 5. So it sounds like that. Then the next chord is a D. We're going to take this D shape like this. We're going to slide it right there and keep the bar there. We're going to play the high 4 strings, the E, B, G, and D string. And then we're going to go back to this G shape, which is a B flat. And we're going to go C sus4. Resolve to a C. Then a C sus2. And I'm only playing the middle 4 strings on that sus4 or sus2 chord. So it's G shape, B flat. D sus2 shape, which is an F sus2. Back to this shape, then a sus4 on the C, and then sus2. Now trust me, this gets easier, but this is very foreign. This is a very foreign bar chord, but it's possible. Now to make it really sound like the Van Halen sound on the record, Eddie finger picks this. So what he's doing is he's taking his pick and he puts it in between his finger like this, his middle finger and his palm, like a magician. And what I'm doing is I got my thumb on the low E string. We got this shape, right? We're going to fret this shape, and we're going to take our ring finger and our middle finger on the B and the G string, and our pointer finger is going to be on the D. So basically, we're taking these 3 fingers and we're gonna play the B, G, and D strings, and we're gonna pluck the high or the low E string with our thumb. So, and he's finger picking this. So the shapes are going to be the same. So it goes like this. Okay. I'll show you that in just a second, okay? So the finger picking thing is quite simple. I mean, it looks complicated, but we're just plucking 4 strings at once, and then use our thumb. Just kind of go down this G chord, the same chords, the same notes that we're plucking with our fingers, and then I'm plucking this D chord with my pointer, middle, and ring finger, and then thumb. I went. then back to the G shape, and then we're gonna play this C sus4 and pull off. A pull off is when you go. So I'm plucking all 4 strings in the middle, pull off that sus4, and then sus2, right down the middle 4 string. So all together we got. So we're just basically okay, and that's when Sammy goes, and so now we're going to bring it down to the bar chord shape because it's just a little bit easier. I'm going B flat to A, F. You could go. You could do it like these same shapes we just did, but I'm going to go huge pick slide, then B flat to C. He does this riff. So I'll show you that riff in a second. So it's then this riff. So what I'm going to do is I'm on the D string on the 3rd fret, right? Then I'm going 7, 5, 3. It's a pull off, like that. Then we're going to go to the A string and pull off 7, 5, 3, and then low E string, 6th fret. So it goes. Okay, so pick slide. Then we're going to go B flat F, B flat C, and then we're going to go up here and go. That's really tricky. It's really hard because he's not playing it in this position on the record because he's got the trans trem. I'm showing you how to make it sound like the record. When we go down here, it's a lot easier. All right, so that riff is your pinky. We're going to be on the 8th fret. So it's low E string, 8th fret, and then we're going to go 5, 7, 8 on the A string. And it's going to be a hammer on it. We pick this first note and hammer on it. And then take your pinky and roll up. 8th fret on the D string. We go back down. Then repeat. And as we go down, it's a pull out. And we're going to end middle finger on the 6th fret. You could pick it, but it sounds like the record if you hammer on it. Okay, then it goes. Now check this out. It goes A, D. And that's where Eddie disengages the trans trem and he goes back to 440, right? So that beginning pick slide part goes like this. Okay, then he goes. So I'm just doing an open D and an open A with a dive bomb. And what I'm doing to get this to sound right is I'm taking my hand and I'm holding the neck with my thumb over the low E and my middle finger over the E B, and G strings. So really all I'm leaving open is this D, so I can really dig into it and do a dive bomb. And the same thing goes with that A string. Okay? Now this next part goes. So it's the same exact thing when we were doing these bar chords and doing this little riff, but we're going to be doing a G to a D sus2. Really all I'm playing is this low D and then this A and D. I'm just playing a 3-note D. Eddie liked to play fragments of chords. We're not playing any of the thirds in these chords because it just sounds fatter. So it's G to D, G to A. And the riff, what that is much easier than up here. We're on the D string on the 4th fret, and then the D string on the 2nd fret, and an open D. Like Figaro. Okay, so it's a pull off. Then we go to the A string and do the same pattern, same fret. And then middle finger on the G, low E on the 3rd fret. So all together. I hit the open D before I do that riff. Forgot to mention that. So. Okay, and then it goes. Then. So what I'm doing there is I'm pinky on the 5th fret, and I go 2, 4, 5 on the A, and a 5th on the D string with a pinky, and then, which is 5, 4, 2, 5, 3 on the loaded, and that's a hammer on. It's hard to get that fluid, but that's how you play it. Okay, so there's a little teaser. The verse is B, A, B. It goes D, B. All right, so anyway, we're just looking at the intro today. If you want to do that introduction and you don't want to play it like this, you just want to play it down here, you can do the same thing we talked about earlier with the finger picking. That way you're just playing D, G, or G, D, A, instead of worrying about these crazy chord shapes. But that sounds like the record up here, right? But you can practice this finger picking technique with just G, D, G, A. Okay? It's a lot of fun, man, and it sounds great. Sounds like total Edward Van Halen stuff. 5150 is a great album. Brings back summertime memories for me and probably most of all of us watching this channel. But I hope this lesson was helpful. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. Comment below, and as always, have a great day. Peace out.